So, Putin may revel in Trump's plan for Ukraine, says the headline here, and a bunch of others. Guys, welcome to the channel, The Modern Survivalist. As I always say, if you want to learn more about survival and preparedness, you have my book, Street Survival Skills, Surviving the Economic Collapse, available in the links there below in Amazon. Check if there's any Black Friday sale. I don't control that, but worth looking. If you haven't got them already, yeah. So what is it that we're looking at here? Well, the plan is, Trump has been talking about this for a long time, for years. Trump has been saying, his hands are so pink, man. Trump has been saying for years that he would end the war in a matter of days or hours or something like that. Okay, how? Well, he's gonna give Putin a deal he cannot refuse, and not the head of a horse in his bed, but dude, I'm giving you what you wanted. You want this? I'm giving you this. Peace. Enough. Let's stop this. This is what General, his name here, Keith Kellogg will offer, right? And this is the kind of deal that Putin, yeah, sure. Why wouldn't I agree to this? This is what I'm fighting for. This is what I got. This is what I'm grabbing. I'm getting a fifth of Ukraine. I went from having no Ukraine to having a fifth of Ukraine. Yes. At some point in the war, they went for a bunch of, and they lost it back, right? They went for it. That did not last. Keep in mind, Tulsi Gabbard said that all of Ukraine would fall in a matter of weeks several years ago. So those are the bright minds involved in this thing in terms of what you can or you cannot do. But what you need to understand is the following here, which is, what are the interests of the Ukrainian people? What are the interests of Vladimir Putin? Which may not align with the interests of the average Russian people that may want to live in peace in Russia and not get involved in a massive war simply because of the imperialistic ambitions of our former KGB asset like Vladimir Putin, that has said himself that the loss of the Soviet Empire is the greatest tragedy the world has ever seen and he needs to rebuild it. That's what he has said. That's what he believes in. Everything else is just ways of justifying in the eyes of many what he's doing. Oh, I'm feeling very threatened by NATO. Poland will invade my country anytime now. No, not real. That makes no sense whatsoever. You're not threatened by anything. That's why you've invaded Georgia. That's why you've invaded a strip here in Moldova. That's why you invade everywhere you can. You're constantly trying to expand your empire yet again so as to rebuild that which was not that long ago. I get it. But is this something that, as a Ukrainian, you could possibly want? No. Well, I mean, you cannot have it all. You either have peace or you give up your... And here's where you need to understand the following. Look, there's the interests of Trump. Trump wants to see this done. Trump has no interest in continuing with a war unless it's... how could we put it? There was no interest in finishing the war when they could. This goes for Trump. This goes for Joe Biden. This goes for, the U.S. administration, the U.S. lobby, those people that really run things, the people that have the contracts, Lockheed Martins, the owners of these large, enormous corporations that saw this as a massive opportunity for making a lot of money. If this guy ended up doing what he ended up doing at the end of the day, that was, a great business. That was fantastic for them. That's why it happened. If there was no interest in allowing this man to cross this line, he wouldn't have crossed it. He knew better. And all of the, but he has nukes. Well, yeah, he's not the only one with nukes. And the mutual destruction agreement that we have here is, yeah, you use nukes, we use nukes. Everyone nukes everyone, and that's kind of it. But no. He was allowed to do this, and that's why he did it. Now, the idea is that this is weakening not only Ukraine, this is weakening all of Europe. All of Europe is weakened because of a war in its, basically at its door. What's stopping this guy? Keep in mind, and I don't have the map here, but you have Poland that has, Poland has Russia on the right. Russia over, now is going to have what? Russia, Poland will be completely surrounded by Russia. How long until this guy decides that we need to go for Russia now? We need to go for Poland now. How long until he decides that? I mean, he's not a kid anymore. He's an older man, but he still has a few years ahead of him. He seems to have been going through some health issues, but he's still fine. So he can be in power for a long time. And the older you get, the more of a legacy you want to leave behind. I think this guy would do it. I think this guy would invade. He will invade as much as he's allowed to invade. Up until the point in which someone says, phone call says, yeah, we will attack you if you do this. I'm not shitting. You cross that line, it's on. And that's the point in which he says, okay, that's as far as I got. That's how much I got. I'm good. But that line is something that the interests of the United States, of Trump, of the American corporation is not aligned with those of Europe. In Europe, this is a big problem. This is something that weakens Europe politically, socially, economically. And the weaker Europe is, the more power of negotiation this guy has and the people that are actually running things have. A weak Europe is great for the United States. Simply because these are, I mean, it's not enemies. You're not looking at enemies. Actually, they're supposed to be allies according to NATO, right? Well, yeah. But economically, no. Economically, is a weaker Europe is better for the United States. A weaker Europe also happens to be better for this guy as well, for Putin, for China. So here is where you start to understand how things align. And that's the moment in which you realize that, yeah, Europe should have never relied on the United States to keep it safe from Russia. It was just not... It was never a good idea. And getting in bed with this guy because he provided cheap energy, that was a big mistake as well. But it was tempting. It was tempting because, yeah, this means, cheaper energy. That's a big advantage that you have politically, economically. And for a long time, he was allowed to do this. And now we're looking at Donald Trump showing up. He says he's going to bring peace to the region. He's finally going to end the war. If you look at what many Ukrainians say is that they don't want peace. Ukrainians say themselves, we don't want peace. Because peace, according to what you guys are saying, is surrendering. If we surrender and we let Russia absorb us, that's going to be peace. But that's going to be slavery. That's going to be defeat. That's going to be the end of us. So we want victory. They want to win. How realistic is that or not? Can they? On their own, very difficult. With support from Europe, yeah, maybe. Europe is now maybe realizing that they should have done more in the first place because there is not the same vested interest from U.S. as there should be for the well-being of Ukraine from the European side. Well, these are things that are maybe being realized a little bit too late to change much. But we'll see how it goes. Guys, that's going to be all for now. See you in the next video. Take care.